A strange panel.
Do you think we're fit?
What's that?
Do you think we're fit?
Okay.
Fit birds.
Okay.
As they say.
We've had worse, so it's okay. All right, so we're on Rumble. So guys,
We've had worse.
as you guys know, it's Friday, right? So what we're gonna do is you guys go ahead and send in your Rumble rants. You can actually do it on your phone now. They just went ahead and put it on the Rumble on the Google store. So go ahead if you guys want to go ahead and contribute to the show and ask a question or whatever, since it's Friday. So go ahead and hit us there on Rumble.
And
do we have a few, Chris?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I'll read some of these right now, and then we'll hit the first question. Sorry, go ahead. Big B Bodybuilding goes, that UK slag is bonkers. Okay.
Bonkers.
Which one? I'm guessing her, the one that has a massive asshole.
The Crib Podcast says, had a buddy that was a side simp for single mom that used him as a placeholder boyfriend. We smacked him, and when she tried to reach out to him, he told her to take a hike. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Demon Fingers. W Rumble, the Canadian booty bandits can't stop the F&F train. Shout out to the Discord. Absolutely, bro. And we predicted this shit would happen, guys. It is what it is. Shout out to F&F. They got to do better than that to cancel us. We ain't fucking leaving. Absolutely, my friends.
Shout
you know
to you,
what
bro.
time it is, bro.
The show goes on.
Yeah, you know it. All right. Update on 9/11 podcast. W Hitler. Okay. I was trying to cover it for YouTube. Yeah, you covered it for YouTube. Thanks, bro. Yeah, so it's going to be next Friday, guys, with Ryan Dawson, which I announced at the top of the show. So
Can you read through pen? Because how did you know what that said?
I just know our audience.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Fresh. Who's Kim?
I don't know, bro.
This guy, bro.
Who
And
is
then,
Kim?
Who is she? And then Hamza Abdul goes, ladies, you and your husband have a good relationship. Your son has two options, a woman with kids and one without any kids. Which would you have him choose? He doesn't like more than he doesn't like one more than the other. So, all right, ladies. So you have this kind of ties into what I was going to ask anyway, but we can start with this one, then go into my question. So you have a son, ladies, and he has two options: a girl without kids or one that has kids. Which would you prefer he choose? We could start right here and then work our way around.
Wait, can you repeat it? Sorry.
Oh my God.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Thank
go ahead.
you.
For my son, I would say without, just because I feel if he's going to be with someone, the best chance for him for him definitely to have kids of his own if he decides to. And just me, honestly, I think I would prefer if I was going to be in a relationship, I would want to be in one that didn't have kids.
Okay, that's fair. What about you?
I don't think I would tell him to pick either or, but rather to just be mindful of the woman and who she is. A woman with no kids can be cold and very, like,
Let's say all things are equal.
all things are equal.
If you had to pick one.
The one that makes him happy, I would say. I think also he has to consider that a woman with children is a very heavy burden. So if he's not mentally and spiritually ready,
Stop.
ready
Hey,
for
Wanka,
what
how old are you, Wanka? Oh my god.
No, why don't you just answer that?
I agree with you, but still.
Okay, so yeah, like when you're coming into a single mother's household, you do have to take into consideration that you're building our future through being an example to these kids. So if you're not ready for that, then don't damage other people's lives.
Okay.
So it all depends.
All right. What about you? What are your thoughts?
I say have an orgy and date them both.
Yes.
Date 'em both?
You're
Honestly,
talking my language.
Like, why do you why do people feel like they have to pick? I mean, if you want a monogamous relationship, then that's fine, and that's your choice. But if you can date them both, then why not?
So you're an advocate for polygamy, or are you just saying in this particular
Polygamy or polyamory?
polygamy is when it's two women and one guy, or multiple women and one guy, or I mean, you could say the other way,
But we don't even know if the other women are dating other people or not. Or like what I'm talking about, like a polyamory situation.
so the woman has multiple men.
Yeah, potentially. Why not?
Okay, for the purpose of this question, just to make things easy, let's assume. Can we pull that up, Chris, real fast? Because I know what they mean when they're asking certain questions, how they're phrasing it. go back, pull it up, just so we have it.
So he's asking in a nutshell, basically.
I
Two options.
I know.
Okay,
but
so you're going
I,
to extreme.
I mean, I don't have. If I'm going to answer it the way
Yeah.
that you want me to, I would tell him whatever he wants.
Yeah, but
That's
he's looking. I understand it's
He's
whatever he
looking-
wants, but he's looking for your guidance. You're his
Yeah.
mom, right? So you got obviously you're invested in your kid's success.
Right.
So would you tell him to be with the girl that doesn't have kids, or be with the girl that has kids, or the other option you kind of gave, which is like take them both?
Okay, so I can choose that option.
You can,
Okay, cool. I
but
choose
the
that
other,
option.
but the thing is, because you mentioned, oh well, what
You're
if they
wrong
want to
because
have?
it says 2 options. So you choose the one with kids or one without.
Thank you.
Not have an orgy or choose both of them.
Why don't you just pick the one with the tightest minge?
Yeah, I was thinking like whoever gives you the best head.
Well, where I was gonna go with this was that most guys wouldn't accept a girl that has multiple guys and take her seriously. Being
I feel you.
realistic here.
I
So, but then given the scenario, which one would you go of the two? You'd say date both, but let's say the girls would not accept
I mean,
that. Let's be honest.
If
Most
you
guys
gotta-
would be like, no, I'm not gonna share you with another
Totally.
girl. So
Just
if
pick
you had
one.
to pick one,
Totally.
pick one. Which one?
I feel like it would be less complicated with the one without kids, probably.
Thank you.
But you're asking me what would I actually say, and that's not what I would actually say.
Yeah, you would say
Okay.
do both, which I actually kind of agree with. But you're saying okay, all right. But if you had to pick one, all right. What about you?
I don't want kids. I want to be a slag for life. So
All right, let's assume you have a kid one day.
I don't want one. I'll have an abortion.
Okay.
Oh my God. What the
I
fuck?
love
Can
you.
you just
Lily,
answer
that's
the question?
illegal in this country.
Can you just answer the question, please? Which one would you prefer? One with kids or one without kids?
I just don't really give a fuck. You can have whatever.
What?
Okay, let's say you had a kid, just for argument's sake. What
You
would
have
you
a
choose?
brother?
Yes.
Okay,
For
what would
for
you
him,
want
for him.
for your brother?
I'll say just choose the one is the fittest, got the biggest tits.
What the fuck?
It's not that hard. I've answered the question.
No, you didn't.
Listen, it's a podcast. I'm gonna need you to answer the questions properly, please. I know it's funny, but I need you to answer the questions properly, okay? So, your opinion, which one would you choose?
Whichever I'd meet the girls and whichever one I like the most, I'd say pick her.
But all things are equal. They're both lovely and great to be around.
They're both fit birds.
Right, just pick one with kids or without kids. yeah.
Assuming
With
all things are
kids,
equal.
with kids,
Okay.
because then
Why
I can
with the
have
kids?
because then I can have some niece and nephews.
Them is not your real niece and nephew.
Yeah.
They'll be your grand
Well, they'll be my step niece and nephews.
grandkids.
They'll be
No,
your
they will be your
grandchildren.
What the
your
fuck?
grandkids.
I thought someone said
Please
about
pick
someone
your
was talking about brother. Someone was
Yeah.
talking about the brother.
So you
That's
give
why.
it
Okay.
So you would do it with the
perspective.
kids so that you can have immediate I
Grandkids.
guess-
Yeah,
step grandkids.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
What about you?
I'd rather choose the have my son choose the one without kids because I'd rather him grow a family and experience it for firsthand. And I don't want him to bring a girlfriend with already baggage. Them not my grandkids. I want you to have
Legacy.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Okay. What about
What
you?
about
I
you?
have so many questions.
I would choose the one without kids because she probably has a tight pussy. My son would like that. Also, why do you want to be with a bitch that's got kids? Because like if they're snotty and ugly and weird, like wah, like do you know what I mean? Just weird kids that are not yours.
Yeah. Wah! Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also like I don't know. I just think like personally, I would rather go for someone without children because like I'm not trying to like mother someone else's children like or play stepmom. Do you know what I mean? Like no way.
Understood.
Okay.
Cool.
Mm. Yep.
What about you?
Hi. I don't personally like kids too much. I would like kids for myself, obviously, in like 2 years probably. But I don't like kids, so that would be the reason why I would tell my son like just be careful because it's a little annoying, you know.
So you don't like your son? You don't like kids?
Mine, yes. But I would tell him like, just no, because then like the baby daddy has to be around, like, and nah,
So much drama.
it's a no for me.
Okay. No for me, dog.
Nah.
There were
No
so many
kids.
contradictions in that
Yeah.
comment. Like first she says I don't like kids.
I
Then she
mean,
says,
if they're
"Well, I'll have
mine,
kids."
I'll be the best mom in the world. If they're
But
mine.
that's the question.
but I'm talking about my son's girlfriend's kids.
Okay. So you would go
feel
with the
me?
woman that doesn't have children.
You're so fit, by the way. You're turning me on right now.
They're annoying as fuck. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What about you? Which one would you pick?
No kids, because the shorty gonna expect you to spend money on her own kids. She
Mm.
might use you for your bread.
Okay.
Let's be real.
Ooh.
She might use you straight for your bread.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh,
And
girls
go
are
back to their
so
baby daddy.
dark.
No, because you gonna always go back to your baby daddy. Let's be real.
Mm.
She
A
keeping it
baby
real
mother
though.
always gonna go back to their baby
No.
She
daddy.
keeping it real
I
though.
No, for real. A
What
bitch
he-
always
what
gonna
he
get
got a
back
lot
to
of
the
bread,
baby
though.
daddy.
Don't really matter.
I would say I would be the exception, but no, absolutely not.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Most women use men for money. It's 50-50. Everything 50-50.
Trust me, she knows.
True.
For real.
Okay. So you would advocate for your son to go for the girl that doesn't have kids because you think that if a girl has a baby daddy, that link is never broken. They're always going to be dealing with each other to some extent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Facts.
All right. Cool. What about you?
Without kids, of course, especially if he doesn't have children of his own, because yeah, you want to start a family up, from the ground. You don't want to be going into another family. And I'm pretty sure that certain animals, even like the male, will come in, and if the female has a baby already, he'll like eat it or kill it.
Yeah.
So it's in human nature, or it's in nature in
Like
general.
lions, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it would be kind of annoying to just like be seeing like this person you're in love with and then just seeing their kids. I mean, it's acceptable if they already have children, then you could match that. But men
So
in
brutal.
general would want someone without kids. So,
Okay.
I would say date the girl with no kids and then keep fucking the girl with all the kids.
yes.
Because it feels the same way for both of them. So I would say just date.
So you advocate, you're with her, take both.
No, you don't date both. You fuck
Okay.
one and you date the other one.
Okay.
So you
don't-
allow your nigga to
Yo,
cheat?
Okay.
hashtag
Yep.
who's Kim, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah, we have some more. But,
Okay. So I'll ask my question because that kind of segues into what I was going to ask anyway. All right. So we're going to transition. If your son was a professional athlete, would you allow him to commit to a girl that's involved in sex work? We'll start here and then work our way around. And sex work, just so you guys understand, it can be stripper, escorts, sugar baby, OnlyFans, porn star, any of these things where women are monetizing their sexuality overtly for money and could lead to promiscuity. Go ahead.
No, because if he's a known athlete, she's a representation of him. So then that just looks bad on him. Like, why are you with a girl that everyone else can see?
Okay. All right. And ladies, remember, this assumes that you have some influence over your son. You guys have a good relationship and he actually takes what you say seriously.
I'm going to go with no in general, but it also depends because I have Patreon and OnlyFans and I do sexualized content. I don't do porn. But so like in the situation like me, I'm a respectable person. But if it's like, she's tricking in the streets, like escorting and stuff, hell no.
So you would say no in general.
No in general, yeah, but there's certain exceptions depending on what kind of like content or what she's doing specifically.
Okay. All right. Would you not be worried about optics? Because let's say like you might only cook in an apron, right, on your
Yeah.
OnlyFans, but the optics don't say that, right? Because it has the optics that it's a porn thing.
You shouldn't really care what people think because most people don't think. So you kind of have to base it off of like pros and cons.
But as a professional athlete, isn't it important to think about these things?
I would say yes, it's
To a degree, public perception
yeah,
does matter when you're a
definitely
professional athlete.
reputation does matter, but hopefully he's making enough money so she doesn't have to do any of that type of content. So in general, yeah, I would say definitely probably wouldn't want a girl doing that kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, there's exceptions because I just don't look at like the body as like a disgusting thing, and I'm also not religious. So I'm a little bit more open-minded.
Okay.
But you can see if someone looks at your page, for example, sees your link in the bio, they're gonna
Yeah.
assume, oh, she's one of those type of girls, even though
Yeah.
you don't do it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really care what people think because people don't think. And after like the 2020 stuff, like I realized like I don't give a fuck what people think, like because they're so dumb.
But what you do might affect your partner's ability to earn
Right.
money or get signed by a team. Because like nowadays, in the social media world, when teams sign, because remember, ladies, this is specific to professional athletes. When teams sign people on, they look at them as like, okay, does their skill set warrant all the off-court or off-field drama that they're involved in?
Yeah, exactly. And I know that like I'm really rare, so
Yeah.
it's like most of the time, yeah, the
You would say
girl,
no? All right,
the
just out
girl's
of
probably
curiosity.
gonna be all over the place, and probably
Rare.
yeah, like no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I use Terrell Owens, right? Like he was a famous football player, really good wide receiver, etc. But he had so many off-field antics that always got him in trouble, right? So he got to a point where he wasn't as good anymore, and teams no longer wanted to sign him because they can no longer deal with the off-field antics like he was able to get away with 10 years prior.
Wow.
You know, which is
Damn.
kind of similar to girls hitting the wall. But that's another conversation. Okay, what about you? What are your thoughts? Son's a professional athlete. He wants to get involved with sex workers. What are you telling him? Like
Y'all both bringing in income.
Okay, so you're saying get with her and she can make an income too.
Yeah.
You got
Everything 50-50.
talking to the
Everything 50-50. So if y'all both bring in income, why should it matter? I know it's going to affect his career because if she promoting herself and his team sees it, yeah, but I don't know. I look at everything 50-50. If y'all both bringing in the income,
But is it really 50-50 if the guy's making $10-20 million a year and she's making maybe $10K a month?
y'all still both bringing the income.
But okay, be honest though. Are you gonna spend your money on him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're paying bills?
Yeah, 50-50.
Well, not her in particular, but the girl. Like you mean the girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you think 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So her making $100,000-$200,000 a year is worth the stigma that he's gonna endure making $20 million a year.
I don't know. I look at everything 50-50. Y'all both should pay bills.
Okay. All right. Even if the guy wants to pay the bills.
Yeah, no, it's 50-50.
So she should stay. Okay. So you don't care. You'd be like, yeah, get with her and make her do 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, that sounds good on paper, but let's keep it 1,000. Like,
Yeah.
if a girl's dating a dude making $20 million a year, she's not paying shit, bro.
In real
She's
life,
not-
she's
yeah,
not.
she's gonna feel insulted if you ask her for give me half for the rent.
And the thing
Yeah,
is,
most bitches are like that.
Huh?
Most bitches are like that.
Yeah. So
the thing is, he won't let you though. But yeah.
yeah, interesting. What about you? What do you?
I don't think it's gonna work because he's already making like a lot of money. So he wouldn't need that, like, unless he's like literally in love with the girl and there's
So you
nothing.
disagree with her? It ain't worth it.
I don't think so, to be honest. Unless he's like really in love with her, because like it doesn't matter. I have to support it because me myself, I'm a sex worker, so I'm not against it, you know. But and like it doesn't matter if people like everyone see her, because no, like as long as you're not an escort, it's alright for me.
So you draw the line at escort.
So he can date him. I mean, he can date her if he wants, but I wouldn't suggest. You know.
Okay, but it seems to me like you kind of make the line at escort. So if she's a porn star and everything, you're okay with that. But at escorts, no.
Yeah, because when you're a porn star, you have to like.
So porn star is okay, but escort is not.
Okay, I've made videos too, like.
You made videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't like
porn
porn
videos,
making videos
never
porn
with a
anyway?
guy though, always with girls. Okay.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking.
And they
I'm
always
asking,
get
hold on,
tested.
Hold on. That's
They
not
always
what-
get tested, so of course there's no problem. You know.
But escorting's like getting paid for sex, and then porn's getting paid for sex also.
Escorts don't get tested like with the clients. Not.
So you're saying it's okay if she's a porn star because they get tested, but if she's a straight up escort, no.
No. For me, no. You're asking my opinion. For me, no.
I'm confused.
I'm trying to understand your opinion.
It's levels. Like
Levels to the shit.
escort is like, for me, it's like
Para
I'm
sucia.
sorry. Yeah. Because you don't tell the client, oh listen, oh I need this test, you know, today. It doesn't work like that.
You summarized it, but she's not.
But porn
I
videos,
literally summarized what she said back to her, and she's saying
Yeah.
that's not it.
No, she said no in the sense like no, she wouldn't accept it. Like her being an escort.
mm-hmm,
No,
right.
but
Just because of
Okay.
the fact that he would.
All right.
Yeah.
Be quiet for 2 seconds. What you're basically saying is you would be okay with him being with a sex worker. However, you would draw the line at it being an escort because they don't get tested for STDs like professional porn stars do.
Exactly. You got my
Yo,
point.
chat.
Man.
That was special, bro. Holy.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's a brain cell share? What about you?
you?
Please save us.
I'll rephrase it again because I know we went on a tangent there. Because if your son was a professional athlete, would you allow him to date a woman involved in sex work?
So clearly they both have a lot in common. Like they both clearly love balls because one sucks on them and the other plays with them. However, in this situation, I don't think that it would be all right because, like you guys said, they're representing their partner, and if you're a professional and you've got lots of money and you're like really well known in the community, then people aren't going to want to see you like be with someone who sells us their body or their soul.
So you're saying no because of your son's reputation?
Yeah.
So even if it was a girl like you, for example, that does OnlyFans, you would caution your son against it?
To be honest, if a footballer was wanting to date me and I did sex work, my pussy's so tight that he wouldn't even care about me doing sex. And also, I can fuck so good, and he would never forget that.
Prove it. That's not the question. The question was, would you allow your son to date a girl like you?
Would I allow my son to date me? Yeah. Would I allow? If I was a woman, would I allow that her? If I was her, would I let her date me? Yes. If it was any other girl, no. Me, type pussy, fit, good at sex, can cook, can clean, dance, everything. Yes. Any other woman, no. That's the answer. Next.
First and foremost, I don't need the attitude.
All right. Sorry about
Don't
that.
forget where you're at. You're on our podcast as a guest, so show some respect to the platform. Second,
Sorry, sir.
you guys got to stop treating this like a joke. We're trying to have a legit, productive conversation here. If you guys are going to lower the quality of the show and act like idiots, then that's fine, but do that on your own time. Don't do it on my platform. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I understand that there's a time and place for jokes and then some satire here and there and shit, but you guys are literally just hurting the quality of the show at this point with your little snickers behind the scenes, etc. The audience can hear it because every time you guys laugh or whatever, the mics are sensitive. They pick it up. So it hurts the quality of the show from a listener standpoint. All right, you're on a podcast. You're not having a casual conversation with your girlfriends at a pub somewhere. All right. So with that said, so you said yes if it was you.
Yeah.
You would allow your son to date a footballer if it was you.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
I would say no. Just because like it's his representation, and on top of that, like when do you ever seen like a football player, like a athlete really dating somebody, like a girl that is really in the streets for real? Like I really barely ever seen that. So why usually like athletes they will like want girls that everybody wants but they can't have. Like usually that's how it is, and I would want my son to have a girl like that. Like if you get what I'm saying.
I feel like girls that footballers date don't really have much about themselves.
What?
Like they're not really like that. They don't
They're
have
not as
personality.
famous.
They just use guys for money. So
Like regular girls? You're talking about with like
well,
what you
I don't
mean?
know what girls are like in America, but girls in the UK,
Oh.
they
Soccer players?
They what?
Football players, babe.
Football.
Well, let me ask you this, because you brought up that point. What do you think would be better for your son and long-term relationship? A girl that has an OnlyFans that makes a lot of money and has a little bit of status and clout,
Or a girl that
or
uses him.
a nobody chick that might work a regular assistant job somewhere, making $50K per year, but she's not promiscuous? Which one do you think is better for your son?
And that uses him for money.
So you saying that OnlyFans you don't use niggas for money? We're not gonna sit here and say that they don't.
I've never used a guy for money. Every single one of my exes has never had a job, and I've never been with a guy with money. So I don't know what you guys in America like, what guys you get with, but guys in the UK don't have money.
Okay. But what I'm asking is, who do you think is the better partner? The girl that has a regular job that has less bodies, or the girl that does the sex work, has some money and status, but she obviously has a past?
So are you trying to
For your
say
son.
that girls that do sex work have more bodies than the girls that don't do sex work? Because I feel like that's a bit like, it's a bit quick to judge. You don't really know. Just because someone has a certain job doesn't mean they have more bodies than a girl that has a regular job.
It's more probable.
But with OnlyFans nowadays too, there are lots of people who do bikini stuff and all of that who are, not really having sex.
But remember, it's perception because we don't know for sure. We have to assume based off what you do.
Totally, it is perception, but that doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly.
That's all. Yeah.
Are there nurses out there that have had sex with more men than a girl that's a porn star? Yes. However, is that as probable? Probably no. And then you got to look at the optics as well.
I always say to people, I always say to people that I would rather like do OnlyFans and not like go out to the club every weekend and fuck a new guy.
Okay. So in your case, going back to my question, you would prefer your son get with the OnlyFans girl versus the girl that is a regular girl.
Well, you're putting me on the spot a little bit because, like,
I mean, you brought
it's
that
a
to
bit
topic.
controversial. Like, I just said that if it was me, yeah. If it was anyone else, no.
Okay. So in general, it'd be no.
Well, there's not a million me, so in general, it'd be a no.
It'd be no. Okay. All right.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, you were saying something before she kind of came in. So you said no because athletes don't typically date streetwalkers. You said
no. That's not why I say no. I was just adding on to what I said. I was saying no because I would rather have my son to have a female that has status that everybody wants, but can't have. I'd rather him have that than someone that anybody can get next to and say, athletes say, God forbid, like, she set him up. Anything can happen. Just anything can happen. I'd rather him have a girl that is like in closed corners.
Okay, so you think it's actually you would want him to date a girl that has status?
Not. I mean, not really. Not per se. That's not what I said.
She's saying in a nutshell, girls have like a limelight type of like vibe that people know but can't really like get.
Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about.
That is literally the definition of status.
I mean, it is, but like,
like a lower tier status.
Yeah,
very low tier.
Yeah, like
she's trying to say that, but she didn't say it correctly. You mean like a lower tier status?
Yeah.
Like maybe C-list, D-list, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tough tonight. That's fine.
Okay. What about you?
What about you?
No, it's bloody disgusting what girls will do these days for money. No. If they do sex work,
I'll ask the question
they're a
again.
slag.
If your
they
son
do
was a
sex work, they're a
professional
slag.
athlete, would you allow him to be involved with a woman in sex work?
No.
Why not?
Girls will do anything for money these days. It's disgusting.
What, fist their ass?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, she did it. She's got a video. She'll show you later. Don't worry.
I can show you in real life if you like.
I'm sick. What about you? I need a nurse right now.
So you're saying no because girls that do sex work do anything for money?
Yeah.
And you think?
Yeah, they'll probably cheat or something like that.
All right. So you think their morals are fucked up?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So, what you consider your job title as? Like you sucking things on
Slag.
camera and shit like that?
Oh.
So you could do that on camera, but like, would you like so if somebody was like to like pay you to have sex, like a lot of money, more than what you make? I would say triple what you make a year on OnlyFans. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you do?
Yeah, I'd sleep with someone if they paid me enough money. I'd sleep with.
I was just
anyone.
referring to the.
Do you know?
straight
I
girls
actually
do
think
anything for money.
that if you're with a guy for money, it's basically prostitution. And I know you're gonna think, what the hell? But like, they're fucking their guy, and they're getting loads of money for it because they're like the guy's rich. So like, it is the same as prostitution because prostitution you get paid to have sex. And then they're getting paid to have sex because they're fucking this rich guy and this guy's giving them everything they need. Probably treating them like shit, but they don't care because they're getting money and they're getting bags and they're getting this and they're getting that. So yeah.
The question I asked was like, do you guys like the jobs that y'all do, the OnlyFans, do y'all refer yourself as sex workers? Because I mean,
I don't.
y'all still
I
on
do.
camera doing sex acts. Like, just saying.
Not everyone that does OnlyFans like fist their asshole.
I mean, but
some of us do.
So you said
I
that
can only fit one finger up my
You
ass.
said that
not
like
a
it's,
fist, so.
but wouldn't it be fair to say though that it's all prostitution to a degree? Because
Yeah.
even if girls make a lot of money, they still want a guy that makes as much money as them typically.
Oh, I definitely think that, yeah, maybe like people that do sex work, maybe that's a form of prostitution. But I also think that girls that get with rich guys is also prostitution. So yeah.
What I'm saying is that the girl that gets with a rich guy is no different than the OnlyFans girl that gets with the rich guy. Because let me explain.
That's what I was trying to
Girls
say.
typically want to date a guy that makes more money than themselves, right? So if a girl makes $100,000 per year, what's the difference between her and a regular girl that wants $100,000 per year? It's just that the girl that makes $100K per year isn't going to be as willing to settle because she makes her own money. But the other chick would take him too. So is it really? They're basically the same, is what I'm trying to say. Girls that make money aren't free from dating guys that make less. Because like you dated a guy that made less, and you're not with him no more, right?
So do you think then that it's okay for a footballer to date a sex worker?
Well, I get my opinion last because I don't
Okay.
want to influence you guys.
Okay.
But I'm just saying because like you're using the logic that like women that get with guys that are rich, it's prostitution. I would argue a girl that also has money that gets with the rich guy, it's also prostitution because she's with him because he's still better than her.
Oh, definitely.
Does that make
It's
sense?
all prostitution. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
bloody terrible.
All right. What about you? What is if your son's a professional athlete, would you allow him to be involved with women in sex work?
So I'm a big proponent of love. I've read Bell Hooks, all about love.
Okay.
And I know. So I think for me, I'm more focused on the spiritual aspect of relationships than I am the like physical aspects. So I mean, if he's in love with somebody who does sex work, I hope they're like me, making almost $1 million a year. And if they're making only 10K a year, which by the way is way over the national average.
10K a month.
Huh? What was
I
that?
mean 10K a month,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 10K a month. Sorry. Excuse me.
And
Yeah,
OnlyFans,
which
or
is
you
way
mean in
more
general in the United States with earners?
in the United States.
okay,
Yeah, which so that's like doing really well for yourself.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
and so, but when you compare that to $20 million a year, obviously that's very different. And so I would hope that they would figure out financially what works best for them. And you know, you can't erase the fact that she did, let's say it's OnlyFans, because that's what everybody's doing nowadays. You can't erase the fact that she did that, but maybe she would stop doing it because she didn't need to do it anymore. Or maybe because of the status elevation, she starts bringing in fucking 6 figures a month. You know what I mean? And then that I can't imagine an OnlyFans girl dating a professional athlete and not bringing that money in, because now they have access to all of the resource, the publicist, everything to elevate their
Would it
brand.
be worth it though to get that money?
I mean, you know, I'm a sex worker, so yeah, I feel like if they're, you know, I don't care about clout and all of that insofar as my personal life and like my spiritual well-being, but you know, like for me to
But
make
clout isn't, you have to care about it if you're in that business.
But that's what
You
I
have
was
to.
about to say,
Yeah.
is that spiritually, I don't give a shit who you are. But for me as a sex worker, I obviously am trying to meet people, collab with people, and elevate my status. So sorry, it was a little long-winded there. But I think ultimately,
So you said spiritually you don't care as long as you connect with that person spiritually, correct?
yeah, and I think that, can I just say this, is that the United States, like as a culture, like we have moved so far away from that idea of love, and it's so just like all about who's using who and whatever. And I get that. I get that that's the reality we live in now. It's just I'm in my head about it. And
But let's keep it 1,000, right? Like girls
Yeah.
typically speak like this, and you know,
No, you're totally right.
Like, yeah, if we match spiritually, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that would match spiritually with you that are fucking down the street right now, homeless.
Yeah.
But like, you know, girls always, like, I always say they kind of start at 10 and they don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and count up to 10. Women kind of just end at the finish line. The guy's not even going to get a chance to show his spirituality and connect with you
No,
unless he
yeah.
meets your prerequisites first. Wouldn't that be fair to say?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting.
So clout does matter to a degree.
Clout, you're right.
And status.
And your social status changes, right, with the more money that you make, right? So as somebody who went from being homeless myself and poverty and all of that to now making the money that I make, I think, you know, it is interesting the people I'm surrounding myself with. So I'm exposed to a lot more people who make what I make or even more. But I will say I've actually never been in a relationship with somebody who makes more money than me, even when I was making 60K a year, you know, working.
Damn.
Yeah, I've always been the provider, because for me, it is about that connection with somebody. Like I've paid guys rent, and people tell me I'm so stupid for this, but like I've literally done all of that
And
because
how long
I love
have you been
them.
doing the sex work stuff?
So only a year.
Only
So
a
it
year?
is
Do
interesting.
you think that's impacted your ability to find a higher earner that would take you seriously?
No, well, yes, because no, I'm sorry. I was trying to understand the question for a second.
Do you think you being involved in OnlyFans and doing sex work has impacted your ability to find a man that would take you serious that's a higher earner?
I'll tell you what, the guys who make what I make or more, they don't care. It's interesting.
They don't care about your money?
No, I've dated. I mean, like I've gone on dates with producers, musicians, like all sorts of artists, and like I've been dating because I'm trying to find somebody to be serious with. I'm 31, but
They're probably more concerned with the OnlyFans than how
they're
much
not.
money you make.
They're really not worried about. In fact, the
Yes,
guys
they are.
who, well, I'll tell you what they tell me, which is that they're supportive. They give me ideas.
Then they smash you, and then they leave you alone.
Actually, haven't smashed most of them.
Not yet.
No, not like I've ended a lot after the
So
first.
going back to the question before we go on a crazy tangent here.
Sorry.
So if your son's a professional athlete, would you allow him to be involved with a woman?
I
Involved in
would say,
sex
yeah, if they're in love, then yes, absolutely.
work? If they're in love.
If they're in love, yeah.
Do you think women that are involved in sex work are capable of love?
Yeah, because I'm a sex worker and I'm so full of love and the desire to be loved.
I would argue they're looking for love the most, but they can't find it because of their career.
Oh,
that
you're saying
damage.
sex workers? Well, I will say I've been a sex worker before I did OnlyFans. Like I was a dancer for a little while and a sugar baby before that.
Would it be fair to say that those experiences where you're involved in transactional fornication impedes your ability to build a meaningful connection with a man?
No, not
You
at
don't
all.
think so?
No, not at all. I think maybe for some people because they don't know how to deal with the trauma and they don't see a therapist and they're not working on themselves because this country doesn't show you or teach you how to do those things. But
Who do you think would be a better candidate for your son? A girl that has 20 bodies that is involved in sex work at 25 years old, or a girl that has 2 bodies that's not involved in sex work and is a regular girl? Same age, everything else equal. Who do you think would actually be a better partner for your son in a long, stable
Why do you keep
relationship?
saying that?
I think
Just keep saying what?
like you keep saying, oh, one has 2 bodies, one has 20. You don't know how many bodies they've got. Like, unless you've gone around the whole world and asked every girl that does OnlyFans how many bodies she's got and how many girls that have got a normal job and asked them how many bodies they've got, you don't
Promiscuous
know.
women exhibit universal behaviors that give it away. If I'm gonna sum it up for you.
You're trying to say that girls that do sex work, like OnlyFans, whatever, they fuck a new guy every week, every day. They've got so many bodies and all this.
No,
they're
I
a
never
slut.
said that. What I am saying though is that women that are in that profession typically have a higher probability of having a higher sex partner count due to their profession.
I'm just gonna say that the more sex you have, the more experienced you are, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think that
Okay.
it can be beneficial to both parties or all parties involved. I'm sorry.
Why are you laughing at her?
I just think it's funny what she said. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the thing she said.
Do you disagree that a woman's body count does impede her ability to
No,
connect with a
I
man?
think that if
That's what she
you're-
said. She said it doesn't
okay.
impede.
I think it benefits.
She's saying it's a benefit. You're laughing at that.
Okay, no, I'm not laughing at that, but I don't agree with that anyway, because I mean, if you're in a relationship for 4 years and you sleep with the same person every single day, you get a lot of experience, and then if you're a person and you sleep with 20 guys a week, you get experience. It doesn't matter how many guys you fuck, you get experience. And to be fair, like, how does like sleeping with many people like mean that you've got more
When
experience?
you grow
anyway?
up, when you're 31, you'll understand.
I just don't fuck guys.
So you disagree. You advocate for lower partner counts. She's saying it doesn't affect. You're disagreeing with her point.
I think fuck as
No,
many people
I'm
as
just
possible.
saying that it doesn't matter whether you fuck one guy for 5 years or whether you
Yes.
fuck 50 guys for 5 years.
Yes.
You're still experienced. And like,
Yes. But, so you're basically look.
Sorry,
I'm trying to say what you're saying so people can summarize. Basically, what you're saying is it doesn't matter. Like you're better off having a lower body count because you can get said experience with one individual.
Yes.
Versus she's saying you can go ahead and get that experience with a bunch of individuals and it doesn't affect you. You're saying it
Yes.
does
I'm saying it does what?
affect you negatively as a woman.
I'm not saying it
Yes,
affects
it
you
does.
negatively or positively. I'm just saying that it doesn't matter whether you
neutral.
fuck that many guys or whatever.
Okay. Do you think it affects your ability to connect with a man in the future? You said no, right?
No, I don't think so. I assume you mean negatively affect, because it does affect, like every experience affects the next, right?
Will it negatively impact your ability to connect with a man later meaningfully?
I don't think so unless
No?
you have really bad experience, like traumatic experiences.
Okay.
Right?
And then for you, do you think it'll impact their ability to have a meaningful relationship down the road if they have more bodies?
I think maybe yes, because I feel like when a girl sleeps with a guy, it's more emotional rather than like, so like if it was guy, it's
So
not.
you disagree with her. All right. I just want to make sure that we understand the stances here and everything else like that. Okay. What about you? If your son was a professional athlete, would you allow him to be involved with women in sex work?
So if I'm in a position in my son's life where I can allow him or not allow him to do stuff, I would not allow him to do anything that I don't think it's right for him. But if he's asking for my suggestion, I would say to weigh out the odds. You have to be a whole lot of man to be able to carry the burden of such shame in your woman.
Bruh. I like how you said that. So relaxed, diplomatic. Love that.
Okay. Anybody have anything to that? So what she said?
I don't understand what she said.
Do you think it's shameful?
Yes.
Basically, she dissed you guys in a nice way. Basically.
I don't mind that.
Hold on. Let's let her answer,
Well,
guys.
sometimes, you know, like
Well, hold on. Let her answer so that you guys can interpret what she's saying correctly. Go. So you asked, is it shameful?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe that self-hatred is shameful. And
Wait, do you think what we do is self-hatred?
Yeah.
do you get dick or not?
As many as I would want, but not that I want many.
Mate, you need to catch a cock. Like, chill out.
Or if you just get a vibrator and use it every day, honestly, it feels too damn good.
Yeah, it'll relax you a little
Do you
bit.
guys think
You
what you
need
do is
sex, you need to
shameful?
come.
Huh?
Pardon?
Do you think what you do is shameful?
You know what? I don't really give a fuck
I think
what
they're
it
too
is and what people
traumatized
think it
to
is.
understand the place that they hold in society.
No, I don't think it's shameful because I mean, like there's certain like extents you can take to it. So you can be at the bottom where you do like just pictures like where they're not too, you know, like. Oh, sorry. You can like do pictures where like it's not too revealing or whatever. Then you can go to the top and be a prostitute. So obviously you can pick where you are in that grid, and it gets to a point where it is shameful. And
Okay, where's that line? Where's that line of demarcation of shameful?
Is it when you start fisting your ass?
everyone's
You
opinion
can
is
rotate
different.
the mic, by the way. Rotate
Okay.
it. Yeah, there you go. Now go ahead.
Everyone's opinion is different. Sorry. Everyone's opinion is different. And
What is it for you?
Yeah, we're asking
okay.
you.
What's
So
your line?
I think that to the point of porn is shameful, and I think this is where this argument lies, because I think
What porn
if,
specifically? Are we
like,
talking
so-
fully nude? Are we talking sex?
so
Are we
we're talking like sex, like so if you're having sex with another guy on
Okay, heterosexual sex is where you draw the line.
yes, because I think that if you're going to be with someone in the future, it would be wrong for them to see you having sex with another guy and that be on the internet.
Okay.
And I think that I just wouldn't want that. So yeah, I think that's where you draw the line.
So you have no sex scenes online.
I have no what?
Sex scenes online. Sex tapes.
Sex tapes? No.
Not one.
No.
Okay.
I'm really proud of what I do, and so are my parents.
Okay.
No,
Do
they
you
want
want to find
go ahead.
love
I
like
mean-
in the future? Like, do you want a family?
No, she doesn't.
No,
Okay.
I don't care. I just don't care. I enjoy what I do.
So in 50 years, where
Yeah.
would you like to be at? Because you can't keep doing the same.
Sat
thing
on a lot
forever.
of bloody money.
Okay, and you're fine with being.
I thought she was going to say cocks then.
I'm not.
There was actually a recent interview with a UK OnlyFans girl, 0.01%. I wish I remembered her name, but so the interviewer asked her something very similar, and she said, "My kids can cry in a Ferrari."
Yes, Elle Brooke.
It was
That's our friend.
Pierce Morgan.
Yeah, it's our friend.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you.
friends
Sorry,
with
I
her.
don't know why I couldn't think
That
of his
answer
name,
was
but
We know
astounding.
Elle.
I thought
Yeah.
that was just such
It's so true.
perfect
Yeah. Why would you?
answer.
I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than in a
Yeah.
Peugeot 106.
Yeah.
You
Taking
know what I
my
mean?
lines, man.
So
You don't think your kids can like be in a Ferrari because of the dad and you not having to do
No,
that?
we're not saying that, but we're just
No.
saying that in life, like, there's going to be like a lot of people that are not going to earn like a lot, especially with the living crisis now, like especially in the UK, etc. That's why so many girls are doing OnlyFans now, because they think, oh fuck, like I can't afford this, can't afford that, I'm not getting money. So I mean, like,
Money does make you happy.
yeah, money makes you
This
happy
is
to a
what's
certain
so
extent.
wrong
It does,
with
yeah.
society that
But
we
is it worth-
materialize.
go ahead. So you go ahead. Yes, you were saying something. I'll let the ladies talk amongst each other, and I can come in after. Go
Like that crushed my soul that I'd rather see my son cry in a Ferrari. No. I'd rather you have mental peace. And if that takes you in a Honda, then your peace is
Mhm.
So you disagree with the money situation?
Yeah.
You think there's a okay? Did
As-
somebody else have something? Go ahead. And I know you had something to say too, right? Oh, you
As
were nodding
somebody
along, okay.
who has experienced both wealth and sheer poverty, I'm going to tell you that it is nearly impossible, if your basic needs are not met, to experience that peace. And so what she's saying is, I get it. It seems like an exuberant amount of wealth is what's going to, is what people aim for, right? But I think the crux of it is my kids are going to be provided for, and so I'm not worried about it.
So question for you, because you're actually a professional, and you're in a unique situation where you're a professional, but you also do that.
Mhm.
I mean, I would argue you probably make what 6 figures with the PA job, etc. You can
Correct,
live
yeah.
well, then you're
Yeah.
better off than 90+% of Americans.
Yeah.
Is it worth that extra money from the OF side, and hurting your reputation, your ability to find a man in the future, hurting your lineage down the road, just basically putting a smudge on your potential legacy, and it overrides all the hard work you've done, getting the master's degree, going through school, being someone that can go ahead and write prescriptions? Is it worth it?
For 2 months straight, I drove to work an hour and a half, and I drove from work an hour and a half back home.
Mhm.
And I wanted to kill myself. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
We're on Rumble, so it's okay.
Okay. I literally wanted to drive my car over the ramp into like
So did you not
every
enjoy your job?
single
Is
day.
what it was?
So the politics of healthcare is so atrocious.
Okay.
If anybody is sick right now, if anybody has a family member who is sick, I am so sorry, because your healthcare provider is not doing all they can because they're not making money off of you.
Okay.
So
Yeah, can I bounce off of what you're saying real quick?
Yeah.
So for me, I started Patreon, and I had just started YouTube, and it was the lockdowns, right? So I was making my money from modeling, acting, and events, right? So in person. And so luckily, my first YouTube video got over 1 million views, so it took off. And then I was like, oh, well, how do I monetize this? And I had already just started Patreon. So then it was like, do I do OnlyFans because it is the superior platform, but people are going to judge me? And actually, I did end up starting OnlyFans too, because just more people were
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
But I would have, like, I'm not saying I would have done it, but it enabled me to have freedom, because otherwise, people were having to get that thing, which I didn't want to do. And so it enabled me to have like freedom for myself. And I was still making money when some people weren't able to even go to their job.
Yeah.
So it helped me, so I can relate to your story in that sense.
Yeah, and so to answer your question, I really do feel like the move that I made is for the greater good for myself and for my dream. My aspiration is to open a series of free clinics, hopefully establish some sort of universal healthcare in this country, et cetera, et cetera. So
So you think by doing OnlyFans, you're gonna
yeah,
be able to
this
do
is,
that?
I mean, because as a surgical PA, on top of wanting to literally be non-existent every single day for 2 months straight, I started making more money on OnlyFans than I did in surgery, like a lot.
Do you think the way that you're earning money though will impact your ability to be taken seriously as a humanitarian?
I think by some people, yeah, I do think that that's the case, but I don't think that that's true for everybody, especially with OnlyFans being a lot more accepted nowadays as a career move. It's really like everyone's doing
Yeah,
it.
they
You know
are.
what I mean? And so if it were one of those things where it's like only if I were on Pornhub, you know what I mean? And I was a girl on Pornhub, even like 2 years ago, before OF really took off and became a lot more accepted, that would, oh shit, she does Pornhub, you know what I mean? But now it's like, oh yeah, she's got an OnlyFans, let me subscribe, let me check this shit out. And so, I mean, yes, in some
So you
people's
think
eyes,
that
but
the ends justify the means?
for me, in my dreams and my aspirations, yes, I do.
Okay.
You were talking about like legacy though, but like what kind of legacy have you got if you've got £5 to your name?
If you have what? Oh, you mean money?
Yeah, like if you've got
As a
like
female?
yeah, if you've got like £5,
So
like there's
my thing is a woman's legacy is derived from her family. And let's be honest, we know that most women, not all, but most women want to have children and be able to have a man and have that white picket fence and house and everything else like that. So in order for you to secure that family, you need a man by your side. Doing pornography, sex work, or anything that might degrade your image, right? Even if you're not fucking, right? Maybe you might just be doing softcore porn, whatever. It is going to hurt your ability to find a man, which then in turn hurts your ability to get that family that you're after.
Yeah, but
so
if
a
you're
woman's
on the
legacy
street,
comes from the family. So if she doesn't have a family, a lot of the times people start asking questions. Wait, you don't have a kid, you don't have kids, you're 35, why are you not in a relationship? I mean, you're 31 now. I guarantee when you meet people, the number one question to ask is, why are you single? Why do you not have a guy?
Right.
When two men meet, they shake hands and talk about what they do for work. When two women meet, they hug and say, do you have a family? So when a woman doesn't have a family, it is stigmatized to a degree.
As a woman, I've never had that conversation.
No, I haven't.
I'll be honest. Nobody's
You have a
never
family?
asked me if I have a family. It's always, in fact, I just met this lovely human downstairs first.
So wait, hold on. You're telling me in your profession, in the medical field, where there's doctors, nurses,
Correct.
etc.,
Even there.
they don't
No.
ask you. Let's keep
They
it 1,000.
do. No. Yeah,
Okay.
of course. No, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. You're right. I that has been, but it's not even the first question though. But the thing is that when you're meeting people in your career, they already know what you do. So that question you skip.
But what I'm trying to say,
you can imagine though, people are curious. They don't want to be rude. Ask you, oh, you got a family? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you could kill the Twitch stream. Guys, come on over to Rumble, rumble.com/freshandfit. The point I'm trying to make, ladies, is that a man's legacy is based off of the impact he creates out in the world. A woman's legacy is the impact she creates through her children.
That doesn't matter
That's
though
not
if you're on the
fair.
streets.
Just because you do
What do
something
you mean?
doesn't mean you're going to be a good
Okay, so
bad
you're
mom.
saying it doesn't matter if she's on the streets.
Yeah, no, as in if you've not got any money, then like the whole like family.
Well, let me
thing
ask you a
doesn't
question
matter.
then. Do you think men actually care about a woman's money?
Yeah, because
Stop. Do you think a man actually cares about a woman's money?
Yeah.
Well, what if I told you that that's incorrect?
But
Men
you
in
don't-
general don't care about a woman's ability to earn money.
So can I
She
ask
even
you,
said that a second ago.
if you saw a woman on the street, yeah, and she had money and she looked nice, she could dress herself because she could actually afford clothes, would you rather go for her or would you rather go for the homeless woman that has no teeth?
I mean, of course, you're going to go ahead and operate in the extreme. But what I'm saying is that, like, let's say you take someone like you, right? Then you take a girl that makes maybe $50K a year, right? You guys are about the same. A lot of guys are going to take the girl that's average, that's not involved in sex work, just because of the image situation, and he won't care that she makes 10 times less money than you.
Yeah, true, but I just think I'm better personally. Like,
being able to support yourself is attractive though.
But you can work a regular
You guys-
job.
yeah, I was
like,
about to say, yeah.
we don't
There's
want to
other
work
things.
a boring job, go to work.
Well, that's your personal choice.
That's your decision and your situation. But you talk about a woman who has £5, but you realize that like there's a bunch of places hired. There's office jobs. There's corporate jobs. There's a lot of situations where you can earn money.
Yeah, but you have to go to uni for like 5 years.
No,
you
you
have to
don't.
waste your life.
No, you don't.
But there's not a simple solution to earning like 50 grand to 100 grand, especially in the UK. Like
Okay,
the
but
UK
that's
is a lot
taking
different
into
to
account
America.
you want to earn that much money, because if you really like wanted a family and doing all that, you wouldn't have to worry about making $100,000-$200,000 a year. You
But
would
I
take
don't want to
care of
use a
your-
man for money, so
Okay,
yeah,
well, I'll tell you
basically.
this. There are ways where you don't have to, waste your life in college. You can go become an electrician. You can go ahead and become a plumber. You can get involved in a trade that
You
pays
still have to go to
six
college
figures.
for that, though.
No. The trades take significantly less time. And on top of that, you would probably get the job over a man because they want women in these job fields. So women actually could make six figures fairly quickly without having to go to college and wasting a bunch of time earning a degree.
Yeah, but then you got to do an actual job, and that's fucking boring.
Okay. So then here's the thing. So let's just keep it $1 million then. You guys want quick money fast. And that's
Yeah, exactly. Because you can wake up every day.
Yeah.
You can wake up in a nice country like America.
You can actually enjoy your life and be happy.
Well, okay, here's the thing. So you want to be able to earn money quickly.
Yeah.
Earn it easily, be able to travel, etc.
Yeah, be happy.
Okay.
Like,
Well, here's the
working
thing.
every
I'm
day doesn't make you happy.
Ladies,
That's what
ladies,
we're talking about. I'm happy as fuck.
you can do that, but understand, I've always said, fast money comes with slow problems. So on the front end, you're getting this money quickly, you're getting it easily, etc. But it's going to come at a cost of your reputation.
Well, what if your man like suggests you do OF? Because for me, before OnlyFans was known as like a sex worker site, or whatever, he was like, you should monetize your social media following, because I already had one talking about Trump, politics, stuff like that. And then I got on it. So he like wants me to do it.
I mean, if it's under the authority of your man,
Yeah, it is.
Then that's different than you doing it kind of on your own.
Yeah, I didn't do it on my own. He like actually was, and I was like, I don't really want to have to make content. I do it for like creativity and fun. But then I was like, I wish I would have done it sooner.
Though that's unorthodox and most guys wouldn't subscribe to that, I'm a big proponent of if a girl is involved in some type of activity that typically isn't desirable, but her man is behind it and he was the brains behind it,
right?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, women
That's a
should
bit
always do
whack.
what men say.
That's whack.
Can I just say
I think they should.
Women
I
should be slaves to men.
But I trust my man's opinion. Like he's so smart and he like can solve
Well-
any problem. And so I just trusted his authority. And I don't do like stuffing
let me
my
ask you a
fist up my
question.
ass.
Since you think it's so you think it's funny that women should listen to men,
No,
correct?
I think women should be slaves to men. Like literally.
No, I mean
that's hot.
without the sarcasm.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, like Tate all the way.
Yeah, I'm in my Andrew Tate era. Like he did the cam girl stuff. So I'm like kind of in that era.
No, 'cause I mean you were laughing at it. So
No,
it's-
because I just keep laughing because she's making me laugh.
so what is your stance on it? Do you think women should listen to men or no? You disagree with that?
Definitely.
Hell no. I'm not listening.
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
Depends on the man. Is he worth listening to?
I'll do anything they
If they're
say.
giving me like, oh, honestly, yeah, definitely.
If they're putting in my arms,
Women should listen to men, and they should do everything men say. Like literally, they should do the cooking, the cleaning, everything.
I much prefer when the guy does the
But
cooking.
so you think women should listen to men, but wouldn't it be fair to say for you to get that man that has that ability where you actually want to listen to him, he's going to want things in return?
In what circumstance and what would he want in return?
Men
Because if he wants a
value-
tight pussy, I got it.
For example, men value purity and a clean image. Unfortunately, sex work kind of hurts that.
To be fair, I'm not pure anyway. I've been damaged all my life, so.
Okay, so then,
there are a lot of guys
can
that
tell,
don't
yeah.
have.
I've been in care since I was like 7. I'm
No,
damaged.
so
Like,
then that's gonna
We can
hurt your
tell.
ability to find a guy. Like, ladies, like, see, because we gave you guys other options to make money fairly quickly, but y'all don't want to do it because it comes with a lot of work, and that's fine. But my thing is, you can't make money quickly, be involved in a certain industry like sex work, and then expect everyone in the world to have your worldview and look at you with the, I guess, respect you to the same degree. Unfortunately.
I don't care about people
May
respecting
I
me.
say
Okay, and
something?
that's fine.
To be
If you
fair,
don't care, then that's fine.
but there are a lot of
people
pros
do.
and cons.
To
To
be
be
fair,
fair,
like it,
I have
Like
a
what?
question.
like cooks and like hot wives.
Like what? Cooks?
Cooks.
Yeah, like-
cook, like
especially when you
cooks,
cook
yes.
naked.
Cucks?
Like guys who get off on like you getting around. And
Okay,
being
but
a
let me
ham.
ask you a question. Can you take those guys seriously?
Yeah, hot wife. I would
Stop the
snap a
cap.
guy up. No, I'd snap a guy up if
You would take a man seriously that was a cuckold.
yeah, hot wife cook. I'd be all over it. Because then you can sleep
All right,
around.
well,
You can do what you
you're
want.
on OnlyFans, right? I guarantee there's probably thousands of guys that follow you that are cucks. Why aren't you with any of them?
Because I haven't been on any dates with any guys like that.
I would be with a
Actions
guy
speak
who
louder
wants
than
to
words,
fuck
man.
other
You
women
can't
as
make this
well.
up, bro.
Why are you single?
I just don't date that often. I'm only 21. I just enjoy like sleeping with
This is
guys. I don't
incredible.
really go on many dates.
So you
So-
need a
so-
guy that's okay with it, like someone that will like let you be sexually free. I
100%,
think.
yeah.
So you're telling me no dates? You just pull up to the crib and smash?
Yeah.
Okay, I like her, man. I like her.
So you don't care about pair bonding, I'm guessing.
No, I'm only 21. Like, I don't really care about like actually anything.
What does 21 have to do with it?
That's a
Because I'm
fact.
just young. Like,
Do you
I'm
know
not-
what
I'm not
pair
bothered
bonding
about
is? Do you know what pair bonding
is
is?
pair
You mean like
bonding?
going on a date and like?
No, it's where basically the theory is that the more people that you have sex with, the less likely you are to settle down with one, because you've had so many in the past that you won't be able to, like, your DNA wise won't be able to stay with it. I'm not sure. Like, I've seen some studies. I think it's true also for men too. Like, if men sleep around a lot, then they're most likely not to also settle down. I've seen it before. So yeah, basically, like she's saying, you might be messing up your chances to actually have like a husband and like family like that you'll stay monogamous to or will work out.
That's not a priority.
It's a
for me.
theory, so
It's not a priority
mean-
right now, but there's going to be a time where you are 50, 60 years old. You can no longer do the work you do. Yeah, you might have a lot of money.
I think you can do it any age. But like, or you say it's not a
Well,
priority
that's
for me, but
funny.
like, I don't.
A
You can't
family's
like
not
speak for
okay,
me.
from what you're saying and from what I'm reading, you don't want a family, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna get, this is for most women and what happens in a lot of cases, because speaking on majority,
Yeah.
women get to an age of 50, 60 years old. They have all this baggage that they come from. They had the headaches from working in like sex work. And you're gonna have 10 cats and a dog because you didn't have kids and you didn't settle down.
I hate cats.
Hold on, but,
All right.
but can I just? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, and then I'll move on to her because I want to get her take as well. And she's been
Okay.
extremely patient.
She really has. She's. I feel
Yeah,
like you know
sorry.
what? Never mind. I'm just gonna pass the mic. But I do want to say I wouldn't want to be with a man who didn't support sex workers anyway. So even though my chances are
Yeah.
lessened because maybe I'll be, stigmatized by some guys, like I don't really
Yeah.
care.
A,
you know?
a staggering majority of men will lie and say they support it,
Yeah.
but they don't.
Yeah, I hear
They
you.
don't.
And I've been in those situations
Yeah.
before, so I
Yeah.
I hear you.
I'm sure you've probably been in this scenario. First date, everything is great. Y'all
Yeah.
hang out, right? Then
Yeah.
3 months, 4 months down the road, that talk comes. I don't
Yeah.
want you doing this shit anymore.
You know, it's funny.
Never fails.
I'm so sorry. It's really funny that you say that too, because I've had the opposite where somebody at first was like, "Nah, I'm not into this," and then later on they're like, "Oh shit, I don't want to lose you." Like, and then
But you supported that man financially.
actually, no, this one I didn't. But
You said you made more money than every guy you dated, even when you made 60K. So so I already know that no one you dated
Oh.
ever made more than 60K.
So technically, okay, hold on. Technically, I do
I'm
make
paying
more.
attention, man.
No, you're
I'm paying
right. So
attention.
technically, I do make more, but he is the son of a celebrity, so it's like he doesn't make that money, but he has access to money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. Being a trust fund baby isn't attractive to women.
That never bothered me. It never bothered me. But because you know what, I will say this. If I did date somebody who was a true trust fund baby and didn't work hard and didn't have a drive and didn't have a passion, you're absolutely right. But this person in particular, even though they are a trust fund baby, they work and they have drive and they have passion.
What's his name?
I'm not saying.
But she earned more money than him. Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's debatable. But okay. And then you gave your opinion, which was, if I'm not mistaken, you wouldn't allow your son to date a sex worker, right? Because it'll cause issues. And then what about you? What's your thoughts? I saw you taking notes and stuff.
My answer is no.
Okay.
I know we've been focusing a lot on money, and I'm going to talk in the perspective of a professional athlete as a fighter. My husband is an athlete, and he's been fighting for a big part of his life. He's a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and he specializes in sparring. And the mentality that you have to go into this kind of career is intense. And to have a woman, or at least what I would imagine for myself, to hear the opponent, or to have, like some of you brought up about reputation can be tainted. It's the mindset when you're about to go into the ring that can be very difficult to process, about hearing those kind of things coming from your opponent that you're supposed to beat. And you'll see many times my husband will try to get into the right headspace to fight, to compete. And something that you'll see a lot in right before fights happen, they'll kind of have like a face-off, talk a bunch of crap about each other. And if you don't think they're going to bring that up, you're wrong. And your man has to defend that and remember what he's fighting for. And my husband has been in positions where he didn't have the right support system behind him to push him to that. And I'm not saying like, oh, you should put his career first or anything like that. Just try to understand that I will tell my son no, because an angry man, a man that's desperate to prove something, isn't focused on what he should be focused on when he's in a fight. He should be focused on technique. He should be focused on what he's been training for, not hearing the slurs coming out of that opponent's mouth talking about his wife, his girlfriend, whoever he's with.
Do you think it would make him fight harder?
That was
Like,
a
beat their
really
ass?
Yeah, you've been through it.
well thought out fucking point. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Yeah.
I think I was able to resonate with this question because I understand my husband's intensity. I understand what he's like on and off the ring. I understand where he gets his bruises and how he can push himself to do that in a day, fight 15 different people and do it for gold.
Okay. Anybody have anything that they wanted to add to that? Because I have an article that we're gonna pull up here. I asked that question to preface the topic, but anybody have anything?
I think that was really beautiful, and I'm glad to hear somebody's firsthand experience because all of the rest of us were kind of acting on like an idea, but you're more
Thank you.
based in reality, and so thank you for that.
Yeah, it's
of
like
course.
mental clarity. And I would also just add that like people have kind of like doubted me my whole life, like, or just like I kind of see things before most of the population and I talk about it on social media. So people are always doubting me, calling me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. So I'm used to people kind of like judging me as an underdog. So to me, it doesn't affect me as much as.
Yeah, I think what you said was really nice, and obviously it's from your perspective as well. So I do think yeah, it was really nice what you said, but I also think that when you're fighting, whether it's your background that's being brought up from your opponent or anything else to do with yourself, things that your opponent says can hurt you. So whether it's about your wife
tonight, my bad.
whether
Sorry.
it's about
Sorry.
what was that? Sorry, I don't even know what it
No,
said.
it was a sound effect. Don't continue on. Don't worry.
Okay.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, so whether it's like your wife they're bringing up or whether it's anything else, it's still enough to emotionally like affect you.
Yeah, you're saying like mental clarity, like he needs to have that, right?
Yeah, it's the headspace he needs to be
Yeah,
in
that makes
because
sense.
he's doing something extremely difficult, which
Right.
is to go and fight someone and put yourself in harm's way because you typically as a human you wouldn't want to do that, so it would trigger the fight or
Yeah,
flight.
you
But-
need to be his peace.
But to
I
her
would like to
point,
be.
that can translate to like work in a business. For example, let's say you're a leader of a company or you're in charge of like certain things as an employee, and your wife is out here doing videos online, and someone says, "Yo, is that your wife, bro?" You can't think straight because you're like, "Damn, that's my wife. I chose her, but she's out there doing that type of stuff." So I mean, her point is very valid because it goes into every aspect of like work for a man.
Of life decisions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that the career in itself of sex work or whatever it is you guys can choose to do, it does have a selfishness to it that you're doing for your life. And inevitably, it does affect your partner. So if you're going to choose a partner, you have to be with someone that can overcome that or understands the reality of it. But at the same time, you can't just expect your partner to have to face that. You also have to be okay with the fact that there's not going to be a lot of people that can do that.
Okay. Interesting point. So I brought that topic up, guys, to segue to the topic of discussion for tonight.
Yes.
You want to give the people a summary real quick on what's trending right now and why we brought this up?
So guys, right now on social media, there's a whole tirade of posts and videos being shown of Zion Williamson going around and approaching different girls, for example, offering to pay their rent, pay their lifestyle. But it's funny because this same individual, NBA player, very successful, also is dating a stripper. He got pregnant. Now, I'm not one to judge people for what they date. However, his level of like, I guess, achievement and success to be dating these type of women does lead to, a perception that it's not that good. So
it could be problematic. So long story short, NBA player, superstar, gets a stripper pregnant. Girls that he was seeing before that have big platforms on Instagram that are OnlyFans models, etc., see that he posts this girl that's pregnant. They're like, what the fuck? So they put him on blast saying, look at all this shit he was doing for me. He was tricking on me. He had a whole other girlfriend. So by him not being honest and getting the stripper pregnant, sharing that photo, the other girls felt some type of way and exposed him. Does that all
Give
make
him my
sense?
number.
Huh?
Give him my number.
Fair enough. But does that make sense for everybody?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and show a thing here on Instagram. And it goes, Ryan Mills called out Zion Williamson, okay? And this guy, if I'm not mistaken, played for Duke. He was a star for them for a while. Yeah, see, I don't even want to see. Now New Orleans Pelicans in the NBA. Okay, so we'll run this clip real quick, and we'll get the ladies' thoughts on it. Go ahead.
Zion Williamson, he just found out he's having a baby girl in this video. Very innocent, right? Wrong. You know who this is? If you do, Astaghfirullah! Mariah Mills called out Zion saying, I let you in my mouth last week when we you could have told me you had another pregnant. How is that going to work moving both of us to New Orleans? You think I would have found out?
And then here's the article here as well.
Okay. Zion Williamson exposed by adult film star after announcing that he is expecting a child. So you can see here Snapchat conversations.
When you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? But I'm super excited.
And that's the same girl that we just talked about that claimed that he busted her mouth. All right. And he goes, and I guess she gives him the number, how much she needs. Yeah. Then he says, bet, which is slang for I agree. I don't have a girlfriend, but if I moved you to New Orleans, would you be cool with be like my official, they blurted it out, but I'm assuming woman
or girl?
Just asking so I know how to go about the situation with respect. So he actually told her that he doesn't have a girlfriend, which was a lie.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So now this girl obviously is trying to really embarrass him, and she tweets, and this is the tweet that we read out before about, I let you, spit in my mouth. Okay. She goes, and quote from Mariah Mills goes, I let you spit in my mouth last week when we fucked. You could have told me you had another whore pregnant. How was that going to work moving us both to New Orleans? You think I would have found out? I think she means would have found out.
Her insult was what? Slut shaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so ladies, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, some of you guys, most of you said that you would not prefer your son to deal with a sex worker or a woman that comes from that industry. Does this change your opinion or give you another thought process? I guess we could start here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we'll start here and you'll come next. What are your thoughts after seeing this?
And keep in mind, there's more girls that came out as well.
Yeah.
But once again, his reputation is he's a successful NBA player. Yeah. That was being shown in public with these type of women. So
he wasn't dating the stripper. He just got her pregnant, or he was dating her.
He was seeing both of them.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your thoughts on this?
I think the decision also reflects on the man, right? Like you said, he's been known to associate himself with these kind of women already.
Well, yeah, now for sure.
Now,
definitely.
Because he's been exposed, correct? Mm-hmm. The question before was asking if I was going to advise my son. That's someone personal to me.
Yes.
Right? So that changes perspectives because honestly, I don't care if people do OnlyFans. I don't care if you do sex work. If I'm not associated to you, the whole topic in itself, it doesn't interest me in the sense of I get it. He knows what he's doing. Sure, he got caught by it because it was sloppy and ended up happening. That's his life, right? So I don't think it really changes my perspective because he's not my son.
If anything, it affirms it.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So it affirms where you stand.
Yes.
Okay. Which your stance was no.
Intelligente.
Okay. What about you? Does it affirm where you stand, or does it make you question things? Or we got almost 12,000 watching for the audience out there. Just so you guys know, we're gonna read 20 and up Rumble rants from here, but I'll read all the ones that came through before. So don't worry, we're gonna get to it here.
Like the video, guys.
But like the video and subscribe on Rumble, motherfuckers.
Please share.
Sorry, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
The question was, after seeing that video, does that affirm your stance, or does it weaken it, or do you change your mind, or what do you think?
Your thoughts on this whole
My
scenario?
thoughts is just questions. Like, why does this matter?
No, because that could be your son.
Oh, that's definitely not okay. Yeah, it just affirms, it strengthens my ideas.
Okay. Did you smoke before coming on the show?
You did, huh?
No, I didn't. I'm overworked and underpaid. But no, I didn't.
You should start OnlyFans then.
All right. What about you? I know you had something you wanted to say, right?
I'm sorry. My gut reaction is, what an asshole for being a liar. You know, like that's my initial. Like, why are you lying to people in general? I think that the way that she handled it was in poor taste. But you can't blame her for being upset about him lying. So I think for me, it- e- there are all sorts of different people in the world who do all sorts of different things. You know, a lot of us here at the table are sex workers, and we're all different and would handle situations differently. So I mean, like he chose a bad somebody who clearly needs to work on themselves. I think he chose wrong. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I didn't word that very well, but like somebody like me, I would never do that. Like no matter how dirty you did me, I like just out of respect, like for people, like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put somebody on blast like
Do you
that
think
publicly.
women in your industry would exercise that same noble behavior though?
I think that there are women who wouldn't, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's yeah.
So knowing that in good faith, would you still want your son to get with a sex worker as a professional athlete, knowing that she can literally tarnish his reputation anytime?
I mean, that's a good point, but how many people are taking her seriously versus him seriously?
It's not about her being taken seriously. I think it's that she can cause drama outside of the competitive arena, like she was describing before.
Totally. But anybody, I mean, like if let's say it was a girlfriend who didn't do sex work, she could have gone public with it too. You know, if you're cheating, you're cheating, and one of the girls or many of the women.
What sounds worse though? Your girlfriend that no one knows saying, "Hey, he went and fucked another bitch like Kobe Bryant's wife," or your wife that is like Kim Kardashian who was sucking dick on camera.
Exactly. How big of an OnlyFans creator is this woman?
She's huge.
Is she?
Pretty big, yeah.
She's porn too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the whole reason this thing is even going viral is because she put him on blast.
Oh, because she has so many followers and things like that. Okay, that's fair.
So-
You know, that there's so many things to take into consideration, right?
Many factors.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then he's a big star in NBA, and then she has obviously a big platform too.
Yeah.
And then I got another video actually to play here in a second. But what are your thoughts on that video? Does it reaffirm? Does it affirm your stance, or do you still not care, or what are your thoughts?
I just think maybe he needs to take some kind of like, what's the word? Oh, sorry. Some kind of like
Accountability?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
For his actions. I don't really know why we're talking about the girls. Like
Okay.
he's the one who's lied and cheated. You know what I mean?
Okay. So it's on him for lying in the first place.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
It affirms what I said. Because like
And just to remind the audience, you said no for sex workers.
yeah, because like why do we need to know all of that? Why would you post on social media that you just spit or whatever she said? Like, why do we need to know that? And on top of that, it's like your family. I'm my mother, like I'm the mother, like I'm looking at that shit. I don't want to see that. Like as far as like my parents wouldn't want to see that. Like,
Okay.
you know, I just feel like that's
Do you think due to her being a sex worker and and being desensitized to shame, that she was able to make that tweet more freely?
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, it's because of like the work that she's in. She's used to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's probably kind of fed up type.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like what she was saying, basically like on like dating and stuff like that. She just probably just tired of dating men and like getting the same thing. So I wouldn't say it's her fault, but I would say I will be mad at my son for messing with her because it wouldn't have been out. Everything is publicized now. So it's like
I've noticed when sex workers get not all, but when some of them get like treated badly by a guy, they're okay with going to the internet and airing out dirty laundry.
Absolutely.
Because if you can have sex on camera, well, it's not that bad to go ahead and say a bunch of verbal things on camera
Right.
that could destroy the guy that you're with's reputation.
Right.
So
It's kind of irrelevant that she's a sex worker though now.
Yeah, I agree. So
you don't think it's relevant that she was a sex worker?
No.
Why not?
Because like it's him that's cheated. Like why are we talking about what the girl does?
Well, he technically didn't
remember,
cheat
she's
because
only,
at the beginning
her platform is only big because she's a sex worker. Is the point?
No, but that could be anyone.
But at the beginning, he asked her like how much, like at the beginning, she posted it online. Did you see that?
Yeah, but surely anyone could post it online, like no matter if you do sex work or not.
But
Okay,
you just
so
asked why does it
imagine,
matter
right,
if she is a sex
You're
worker?
from the UK.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, what's a good example? Let's say KSI, right?
Yeah.
He's from the UK. He boxes for a living now, pretty much, and some videos here and there. Let's say he got exposed with a sex worker. Would that make any impact for you or no? Because you would think his brand is okay, funny, makes people laugh, very interactive with the public, not really fucking whores.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense or no?
I'm lost.
I think she's thinking about your cock.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
You don't think it affects the image of the person? That's the whole wraparound of here. This.
No. I'm
You-
too
you
horny
don't feel
right
like-
now to think.
Okay. We'll just move on then.
All right.
And for you?
My turn. Okay. So, what you were talking about the KSI thing then. So I have OnlyFans, but I also have TikTok, and I've got a lot of fans, even girls, and I make them laugh. I'm funny. They like me. So whether you
Stop
do
the
sex
cap.
work or not,
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it 1,000. Like,
yeah.
if you look at
Anyway,
like,
I might not make you laugh, but I make everyone else laugh. But yeah, anyways, moving on. To the situation. So you're saying that because she does OnlyFans, she's got a lot of publicity. She made this go viral, etc. I don't know if you've heard of a footballer in England called Mason Greenwood. He had a girlfriend. She didn't have that much clout. She's obviously known because she dates him. She then put on social media that he raped, blah 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 blah. Like he got sent to court for it, was going to go to prison, etc. She doesn't do sex work. She's not really like. She doesn't have a massive account or whatever.
Yeah.
That went public. Everyone knows. Like it destroyed his career. He got let off from Manchester United football, and obviously that ruined his career. He's now back with her anyway, so he's back with her now.
yeah, so
but-
you're saying a regular girl is capable
Yeah, a
of
regular
destroying
girl
a guy
is still
too.
capable
Absolutely.
of it. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that a girl that's involved in sex work that can have sex on camera with thousands, if not millions, of horny men watching, jacking off to her, is not going to have the same reservations about posting things on the internet than a regular girl would. So it'll mitigate the risk. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. But I do feel like
Both are
there
capable.
is psycho
Both
bitches
are.
that are just average girls.
Of course, there always is. But I would argue that women that are involved in sex work have a higher likelihood of being a psycho bitch.
Because they don't care.
Mm.
Yeah, like when you have kids in the future, you're not gonna care about how your kid look about at you, what you did when you was younger. You never ask your parents like, what you did. Like you never like, you wouldn't as a kid, and you find out that your mother was a prostitute. Your
My
mother's
mom's an
on
alcoholic.
camera.
She's not a prostitute.
I didn't call your mother a prostitute.
We're speaking in
Yeah.
general.
Speaking in
And just
general,
enjoy
she's not attributing what she's saying to your personal experience. She's speaking in general.
I just feel like personally, like I would just be thinking about my future kids on what they would think. Kids get teased for shit like
Yeah.
this. You don't understand.
That's why my kid's
what a
gonna go
kid-
to private school, and it's gonna.
What
have
does
the best
private school
life.
have to do with social media? Is still gonna be there. You sound like all right.
You're getting angry for what reason?
I'm not angry. You're just retarded.
Okay, I'm not. I earn more money than you, so whatever, innit?
What they have to do with anything?
Okay, I'm happy. Whatever. I don't
You gonna
care.
take that from her? Don't take that from her.
I don't think she's trying to attack you personally.
I
She's
wasn't.
merely making an example, and then you went ahead and
Right.
personalized
Why
it
would
and
I
talked
worry
about your
about a bitch
mom.
that over sexualized herself, sucking fucking mics? Bitch, you're
I just said
bugging.
earlier that I don't suck cock. I don't fuck guys.
Y'all
like,
was just
whatever.
on the mic sucking it. Like, are you
I have
okay?
money on Brooklyn.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
Bugging.
Well,
What
either way,
happened?
ladies, let's
You
not.
okay?
If,
I've seen her fight. She can fight.
if we're gonna have conversation,
I'm not gonna fight.
We
Yeah,
gotta
I
make
know
it-
that
Oh, I
can
don't
get
need to
beat up.
fight you. Like whatever. It's like
I didn't say I was
we'll
gonna
just
fight
agree to
you.
disagree, innit? Whatever.
All right, ladies, chill out.
yeah.
Such a ditzy ass bitch.
Let's try to not. Let's try to stay away from the personal attacks. You know what I mean?
I wasn't personally attacking her. That's the craziest thing.
just-
like
well, you just called her-
now,
you just
just
called her a
now.
ditzy bitch just
Well, just now.
And then you mentioned the second
Before
of the
I
dick being
wasn't.
fair. Before you weren't, but
Cause she just got me tight.
Okay. Control your
Well,
emotions.
just calm down.
Control your
and
emotions.
just relax.
Bitch, I'm calm.
Okay, you don't sound it, but whatever.
This is not me
Hey.
turning up. Trust me.
Okay, relax.
I'll be
World
wiping your
star.
face with this floor if
Okay.
it was me turning up.
Okay.
Is that a threat? I can get you done for that.
Hey,
I'm gonna give you. You gonna call the top?
Yeah, go call the police. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
We'll move on to
relax.
you. What are your thoughts on that video with Zion Williamson?
I think that's very messed up. Like I mean, I hate cheating. Like, if you want to be with another girl, like you can just be straight up. For me, that'll be
Wait, don't
fine.
I thought
Okay.
your girl and your guy didn't know about
Oh,
They do know, not 100%, but they do know about each other. Like, not 100%.
I
Like
hate
they
cheating.
They think.
Oh my goodness.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, but
That's not cheating. Like, because they know, like, something. Not a lot, but they do know.
Did you smoke before the show?
No.
No, she's like this.
I don't like smoking like that
Yeah,
too
she's like,
much.
yeah, she's like
She's
this.
being cool. Like she understands. Like
I think they put her on the top 10 list of dumbest girls that have come on the show. The fans,
Yeah,
no
for
offense.
me, you can be like this is my opinion. Like, I can be dating a guy, and if he wants to be with another girl, I'll be alright with that.
like they can't be cheating.
Like,
but like
I would-
they
No,
gotta
just
know about each other.
fucking-
Like that makes sense,
For,
right?
yeah, for me that's no problem. Like, you can be like straight up, oh, I'm gonna be with
In
this
an open
girl,
relationship.
and I'll be okay with it.
So you
Like,
stand
for
on what you
real.
said prior. You said it's not a big deal if a professional athlete dates a sex worker as long as it's not an escort.
Yeah, but the bad part is that they do it behind your back. That's when I get mad. That's bad, you know. If you
Yeah,
just tell me straight up, listen, I got a girl, or like, oh, if you're my boyfriend and I'm gonna be fucking this girl, okay, you tell me beforehand. But
Just be honest. It's not
yeah,
that
just
hard.
be honest.
Just fuck
Okay.
They're just so scared. It depends on the girl that you're with. Me, I'm super open minded. I don't give a fuck like what you do, you know. And I hope you don't care about what I do either. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? You've been
Spiteful.
pretty quiet. Do you stand on your yes, everything 50-50?
Yeah, but everybody cheats too. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you think cheating is worse from a man or from a woman?
50-50.
So you think
But I feel like a female can be more shystier about it.
okay, what do you
What does
think
that
is a
mean?
how about
What
the
does shiesty
Yeah,
mean?
what does shiesty mean?
Like
it means
like shady,
being shady,
like very
Oh,
shifty.
sorry.
deceptive,
Dodgy.
not
Don't know
congruent.
the
Like a
American
snake.
Like
slang.
men are men are sneaky about it, and females are just shysty about it.
I think men can fuck whoever they want, even if they're in a relationship, because there's no emotional attachment there. Whether, like, rather than a woman, because she obviously has
Well,
emotion.
that
and it's a
segues
lot
to the
different.
question I was going to ask. What's a bigger, what's more treacherous, a girl cheating on her man or a man cheating on his girl?
A man, a girl cheating
Well,
on
I was
a man.
asking her
Okay.
because she said 50-50. That's why I'm asking her. Or do you still think that's 50-50?
I feel like men have more emotions than a female.
Really?
On a female, yes, most men have way more emotions on a.
Water's
Females-
turning the frogs gay.
Huh?
Like men are feminized because of like
No,
like
but females look at everything's a beneficiary thing. Okay, when a female gets with a man, it's out of beneficiary. Let's be real.
Okay. Would it?
It's
okay.
whatever benefits them.
Now let's say in general though, I understand that you're probably speaking from the lens of a dancer where it's your profession to finesse guys and not be emotional and get the most money out while selling a dream. But for women in general that might not be in that work, wouldn't it be fair to say that women are more emotional than men?
No, because even when I wasn't dancing, it was still that.
I'm not basing this off of you
I know,
personally.
but in general.
We're going women in general. Do you think women in general are more emotional than men are?
Depends. It really depends.
Yes, we are.
women have
Not
a like
100%.
a cycle.
Yes,
Women
not
have a hormonal
100%.
cycle, so
Yeah.
we're
No,
we're
not
more
100%.
emotional.
So you're saying that men and women are equally emotional?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I never said that.
Okay, so
We said
who is more
50-50 earlier.
emotional? Men or
I
women?
know some men that are way more emotional than females.
On a scale of probabilities, generally. who is
Okay,
more-
females, yeah.
There you go. That's all we need.
Wait, but what about zodiac signs? Stop it.
Don't go there.
Stop it.
Don't go there.
Stop it.
What about you?
Wait, so hold on. She just mentioned that
Oh,
is
no.
a component as to why women are more emotional.
No.
Women rely on the random things like that to kind of
That
like
shit's
justify
so
behaviors
stupid,
and whatever.
man.
Sorry for being
I
a
was saying
bitch,
that
but I'm a
jokingly.
Sagittarius.
Yeah, like women use
Are you?
foolish things like horoscopes and the zodiac signs, etc., to justify their behaviors. Women rely on the paranormal a lot to explain the unexplained, versus men rely more on facts, statistics, science to go ahead and figure out the unexplained. This is why men are the predominant inventors. This is why men created a lot of the mathematical equations. Men are the innovators in a lot of things. It's because men don't rely on the paranormal to explain to the same degree that women do.
Is that why under Trump's reign we weren't allowed to talk about global warming in certain situations?
Well,
global warming doesn't exist.
That's a whole other.
Okay, well,
that's a whole other.
The
conversation.
climate naturally
We're talking about
changes.
science, but I'm sorry,
Well-
but we're talking about science, something that most scientists agree upon. So that's why I bring that up. I'm not anti-Trump.
That's
by
a
the way.
debatable.
I'm just
That's a
saying.
debatable because you have a considerable amount of scientists that also say that global warming is not significant. Yes, it's occurring, but it's not significant to the degree where we're going to allocate billions upon billions of dollars. They're not saying it doesn't exist, but then you're really getting into an argument of is it important enough to spend billions and billions of dollars?
Right, and then we
towards-
could.
You got hungry children.
And then, but then the hunger is driven by something called global warming, right? There's
The world is
more
flat as
limited
well.
I mean, there's clearly enough food to go around.
Al Gore
There's-
right now
started
there is,
this.
yeah, absolutely. We throw away food, right? Because of the economics of it all. We could go and have a full-on conversation about why we throw away food.
Yeah.
and
But my
limit
main point is
resources.
that men don't rely because this all stems from what? Who is more emotional, men or women? I think
Women.
it's irrefutable from a scientific perspective that women are more emotional.
I'm such a
I know you said
crybaby.
it's 50-50, but
For me, it's women, bro.
It's
like
Yeah, but I know a lot of men that are just
And
straight
look,
simps.
We are
Yeah.
not saying that men can't be emotional. We're just saying on the scale of probabilities, who's the one that's going to be more emotional?
Yeah, they get periods. as
okay.
well.
Look, you do understand that your personal experiences might not be how the world works, correct?
I never said that.
You've used multiple times when we make a point, you say, well, I know XYZ.
I never
or
said
I've
I
seen
know.
XYZ.
I've seen. I never said I know.
I've seen, I know, tomato. You're basically taking your personal experience and saying, well, I've seen or I know or I've experienced this. Your personal experiences might not reflect how the world really works. I'll give you an example. We live here in the United States. Wouldn't I sound stupid if I said world hunger isn't real because I don't know anyone that's hungry?
That's so true.
Because I don't deal with hungry people all day doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It absolutely exists. So my personal experience might not necessarily reflect the reality of the world. That's what you're doing, though.
I think a lot of people try to justify something that they think they know based on like their 24 hours a day that they go through every day. But social media has proven, and everywhere you look, there's always a different perspective. And that's why we have podcasts
And actually,
like this.
having that worldview means by default you're more emotional. Like women kind of base the world and how it works around them because that's naturally women are naturally more narcissistic than men are. They have to be because you guys carry the next lineage of children.
Of
you have to be more
course.
selfish than men are.
It's my world. You guys are just living in
That's
it.
how a lot of girls operate, though.
Badass.
Men tend to be a lot more objective than women. Women tend to be very subjective in their worldviews. If I say something, right, they'll say, "Oh, well, that's not my experience." Okay, that doesn't mean that it's not valid. But women run around and say crazy things like "my truth." I think that's one of the most damaging things that we say in the world is "my truth." No, the truth. There's one truth. There's no "my truth." That's just your experience and your interpretation of the truth.
Yep.
You guys, where I'm going with that?
Makes sense.
So now, going all the way back here, now that we know that men and women aren't 50-50 with their emotions, or it's not, women are more emotional than men, and this is pretty much proven. Do you still think that it's worth being 50-50 with a sex worker as a professional athlete? Because that's what you said earlier.
I'm still saying what I say, period.
Which was?
50-50.
50-50.
So the guy
Whether
should
you
be-
think it's funny or not, I'm still saying what I say.
Okay. So you think it's worth it in be 50-50, even though it causes all these issues that you see right
Okay,
now?
y'all both bring in income. Oh well.
Period.
So her income is worth the reputational damage.
Y'all can both damage each other's reputation. So
How can he damage her?
How would he hurt her reputation?
At all?
By cheating.
By cheating? By cheating?
Yeah.
I would argue that when a man cheats on a woman, her reputation isn't as damaged as much as if his girl cheated on him.
Beyonce.
You know what?
Like women
Actually,
don't
you
lose
right about
status
that
by
one.
being cheated on, but men absolutely lose status by being cheated on.
Yeah, they do.
Because niggas wait for a girl to get cheated on. Because I feel like that's when they get the most.
When they're weak, huh?
So
Yeah.
niggas be trying to swipe their way in.
So is it really 50-50 by your argument then?
Come on, sis.
Come on,
She's just stubborn right now.
Stubborn. You just
She's
gonna have to
stubborn right
like give
now.
it up.
I'm a Taurus. Okay.
Oh,
Stubborn as hell.
perfect example. I'm a Taurus. I'm
Taurus.
stubborn.
She quite literally,
I mean,
bro.
so
You
am I.
cannot make this stuff up. She's making illogical arguments, and instead of saying, "Damn, I was wrong," what does she say?
I'm a Taurus.
She deflects accountability and says,
I'm wrong.
I said something
You feel me?
stupid
I'm
because of the
wrong.
month that I was born in."
No.
Bro,
I'm just stubborn
could you
as
imagine?
hell.
Yeah, hold on. But this is a difference. Imagine I was a fucking idiot and I ran around and said, "Yo, I'm an Aquarius, bro. Sorry, can't help it. Sorry."
Hey.
You would look at that dude like, "You fucking loser bum. Get the fuck out of here." We'd laugh at that dude. But girls run around all day, say dumb shit, and then they say, "Sorry, I'm a Gemini." And no one says anything.
Yeah, I never said I was the brightest of the bunch. I never once said I was that intelligent. The fuck, at least I can admit that.
Yeah,
I understand what
man.
you do for a living. Don't strip no more. Be a politician. I'll be
Hell
way
no.
better. Way
Oh,
better. Okay,
All right.
what about you?
Fantastic. That was interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
All right. What about you? What are your thoughts? Do you still agree with? Because your argument was no in general.
Yeah.
But there are exceptions.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I would say it's an L for the guy. The guy should be honest about being open first. And then
L about what in particular?
like L for the guy because he's dealing with like these girls that are like
Okay, L being with the sex worker.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like
okay.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Because like bad energy or people in your circle can seriously affect you. So he wasn't using like good judgment to deal with this girl. And then yeah, I agree with you that sex workers could bring like a level of drama because they're not used to like regular social stigmas, stereotypes. So they could kind of, go out of like the norm. And then I just wanted to say about the whole like zodiac thing. I agree that women, they tend to like kind of just like you do the horoscopes or say like, I'm a Gemini, whatever. I'm a Gemini. But I wanted to have like a rebuttal to that because astrology and astronomy is so important in cultures. Like we have like the Chinese zodiac, we have the Indian Vedic horoscopes, and for thousands of years these cultures have been using astrology. And are you religious?
Not really.
Not really. Would you say you're like Muslim, Christian? Muslim. Okay. So there's this book, I believe it's called Mashallah, that talks about the Prophet Muhammad and that he actually only came into existence because of the planetary conjunction. And so because of the celestial, situation.
Is this in the Quran?
Yeah, it's in the Mashallah. I know that's like
I
a
don't know what
saying.
that is.
It's these certain
Mashallah is
ancient
like,
texts.
proud of you or
Yeah,
whatever,
it's a
but-
saying. It's a saying, but also there's like these ancient texts that say that you could look it up, that basically he wouldn't have ever come into existence if it wasn't for the planetary conjunction at the time. And it was specifically Saturn and Jupiter.
I don't think anyone in the Islamic faith takes anything seriously that is outside of the Quran. There's only one book. That's actually one thing that Islam prides itself on, is that there's just one book.
Well,
and it's been unaltered and it's been the same since. So like, I don't think
Yeah.
they would take that.
So you could also look at Christianity, like the Star of Bethlehem, and basically all religious texts,
So
like
basically,
they revert back to astrology.
They have some form of astrology in them.
And
Okay.
and basically the way the planets are set up when you're born, it does have an effect on how that person might be. I'm a Gemini and I really relate with Trump and Kanye because it's just like they say certain things. They're also involved in fashion, they're involved in politics, and I notice basically similarities between certain people. There's also your human design, and there's different things that you can look and learn more about yourself that has to do with astrology. But I still agree with you overall that women can just kind of use it as a
women are more likely to subscribe to paranormal explanations as to how things work than men are.
I would just say that you kind of can't just completely dismiss it because it is throughout multiple cultures, and just like if you're going to go off of the way things have been in regard to like women being submissive or men having multiple wives, that you kind of have to go off of history, like the Chinese
I
and
would
the Indians.
argue
Mhm.
that you have a point, but does it really matter? Because we don't use that in today's system anyway.
Well, basically, we do use that to a certain extent because if you have your chart, it's gonna lead
Women
you
use it.
into more.
Two dudes never meet up and say, "Hey, bro, what's your
No,
zodiac sign?"
there are men that
It's a
that are
very
into
feminine,
it.
yeah, but minority.
The Indian culture, for example,
feminine,
they
only
pride themselves on.
like only very feminine men do that. Like, two dudes don't meet and say, "Hey, bro, like, what's your zodiac sign?" Like, no, men tend to operate on what is, like, not like, you know, paranormal crap like that.
And when we're talking about men and women, we're talking about specific to American culture, like a culture in the United States,
in
right?
the West, in the West.
Yeah, but you still like if you look on the Sumerian tablets and you look at a lot of different ancient texts, there's still going to be correlations
And there
to
was
the
a study
sky.
that came out recently that people that believe in zodiac signs, etc., tend to be more narcissistic and have lower IQ.
I think everyone's narcissistic to a certain degree because that's for our survival. So we have to kind of be focused on ourselves in order to.
They score high on
Okay.
a narcissistic scale.
That makes
and
sense.
And they have lower
but
IQ, which tend to be women.
Speaking of ancient texts,
I mean, what were you gonna say? Oh, do you have anything else before?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about climate change too. I was just gonna say, like, there's basically Al Gore put out this graph called the hockey stick graph, and basically what they did was they times the amount of heat and they made it seem like a lot worse than it actually was. And so they sent this out in newspapers and kind of got that idea in everybody's head. And it's the same thing that they did with COVID-19 is they basically blew something up into something bigger to basically brainwash us. And it's all like the cult's agenda to make us think that we're less than.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry, but as a healthcare provider who witnessed,
okay.
well, yeah, because as
right,
somebody
and
who
the
witnessed,
healthcare workers
witnessed
killed people
first
with the protocol. I'm not
witnessed
saying you specifically, but
witnessed firsthand the effects of a pandemic.
Who died outside of the hospital?
People who got to make OnlyFans in their homes.
Who died outside of the hospital? The ventilators blew up people's lungs. They gave toxic medications.
I have to agree with you on that one because during the whole pandemic, there was workers that was doing things that they wasn't even qualified to do.
Oh, you saw
because
the videos.
we was short of staff. We wasn't able to work certain equipment. That's not our job status, and they will force us to do it. So you can't. Most of the people that did die. That wasn't not most, but I say a percentage of people that
they
did
were all in the
die
hospital. I don't know
neglect.
anyone that died outside of the hospital.
I would say
they were in the ventilators.